Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David. Scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and wherever you may be, do I say Shalom, Yahshua, Shalom. All right, I want to get into this topic, super brief as possible, that I saw. This Arc de Trump, okay? So this is over in the wiki. Memorial Circle Arc. Independence Arc is a proposed triumphal arc which would be located on Columbia Island in Washington, D.C. The site is a traffic circle on Memorial Drive between the end of the Arlington Memorial Bridge and Arlington National Cemetery, named Memorial Circle. It is directly across the Potomac River from the Lincoln Memorial at the west end of the National Mall. Yeah, it should be near the cemetery. All right, so it reads here, proposed by President Donald Trump. Some media have referred to the arch as Arc de Trump, okay? A play on Arc de Triomphe, okay? Its purpose is reportedly to celebrate the United States semi-quincentennial. All right, I'm gonna click on this real quick. Arc de Triomphe de no, I try. Often simply called the Arc de Triomphe, is one of the most famous monuments in Paris, France. It is located at the western end of the Champs-Élysées, at the center of Place Charles de Gaulle, formerly known as Place de l'Étoile, named for the star-shaped configuration formed by the convergence of 12 radiating avenues. The monument and the surrounding plaza are situated at the, I don't care where it is. Commissioned to honor those who fought and died for France during the French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars. The arc bears the names of French victories and generals engraved on its inner and outer surfaces. Beneath its vaults lies the tomb of the unknown soldier from World War I, marked by an internal flame commemorating unidentified fallen soldiers. Okay, so that's the Arc de Triomphe, okay, in Paris, okay, in Paris. Triumphal Arc. Okay, so let me see what this says. The semi-quincentennial, United States semi-quincentennial. Also called the sesquicentennial or sesquicentennial, America 250, or the quarter millennium, will be the 250th anniversary of the United States Declaration of Independence. Festivities will mark various events leading up to the Declaration's anniversary on the 250th Independence Day, which is going to be July 4th, 2026. All right. I think he held some kind of military parade this year or something like that. Cemetery commemorating it. I don't know why. If I'm correct, it was something he did like that. So, previous event, bicentennial 1976. Next event, tricentennial 2076. That's not going to happen. Okay. Because that's straightforward. So that 250-year mark, which is going to be, you know, marking the downfall or the end of the empire, because the downfall coming a little once or two. Okay, but that 250-year mark. Okay. And I want to really see what was going to be like on this thing, like written or printed or, you know, like whatever, you know, wall reliefs. I really didn't find anything. All right, so this is what they were talking about, that circle. All right, near the somewhere near the cemetery. In April 2025, article titled "Washington Needs an Arc" is the conservative publication The American Mind. Art critic Katz B. Lee detailed the impact that an arch would have on the axis of monuments on the National Mall. Okay, and development. All right, on October 15, 2025, President Donald Trump showed reporters in the Oval Office a model sitting on his desk of a proposed arch he wished to build. CBS reporter Ed O'Keefe asked him, "Who is it for?" Check this out. Who is it for? Trump replied, "Me, okay, it's going to be beautiful." All right. O'Keefe then asked if it would be called the Arc de Trump, a nickname that was immediately adopted by the media. Okay. Yeah, it was set up that way is what it was. Later that evening, guests were shown three differently scaled models of the arch at a dinner in the White House's East Room for donors to the ballroom expansion to the White House, the largest of which will reportedly dwarf the iconic structures closest to it, including the Lincoln Memorial. All right, so that doesn't say self-centered. What does? The large arch, which Anastasia Tsiolkas, writing for NPR, said was evocative of the neoclassical style favored by George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, would be surmounted by look would be surmounted by two eagles and a golden winged figure, whatever that might be. I'm not sure. Which was described by Trump as representing. Okay, there you go, Lady Liberty, a golden winged figure. All right, which described by Trump as representing Lady Liberty. What the scriptures talk about, even Satan masquerades as the angel of light or something like that. Okay, which has a whole story and background to the so-called Lady Liberty. Um, right, it's all going back to the sorcery and things. During the aforementioned dinner, Trump stated construction of the ark would be completed in time for the 250th anniversary of the United States. He also said that it was fully financed and that some of the layout, like the ballroom thing, right, fully financed, and that some of the funds left over from look, there you go, from the ballroom project would be used to fund the arch. Okay, and and the reason why I wanted to go into this real quick because it reminded me of as a matter of fact, let me do this. You know what? Let me get this first. This is good. Let me get this first because the Lord prophesied this. Okay, let me get this real quick. Let's get Luke. We always going to Matthew. Let's get Luke. Let's get Luke 21 because we always going to Matthew. Hold on. Okay, so I was looking for. Oh yeah. I know what I was looking for. Yeah, I was looking for the prophecy the Lord said. So right here, verse 20, Luke 21:20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Right. So the Lord, this was a prophecy the Lord made about what was to come later on in 70 AD. And I'll show you why we're reading this and we'll get to the point that I'm going to make. Okay. Which most of you probably already know where I'm going with this. Then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. That is close. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out. All right. So the mountains was mainly, into interiors of Africa, but we also scattered in different parts. But the bulk of us fled into Africa. All right. Then you get to the later history, the transatlantic slave trade. All right. The Southern Kingdom were picked up from out of Africa. We're not Africans. We were picked up out of their particular lands, which we had cities there. All right, in Africa. All right. Even Jeremiah, I think he went there at some point. Okay, so Israelites had even. I mean, when you go back to Egypt, well, now maybe not Goshen, it's possible, but other territories. All right, just in general. All right, settlements that were Israelite settlements that was all the way in Africa. Okay, so anyways, to make the point, it says, then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out. And let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. Now, there were 3 times a year we have to report to Jerusalem, specifically all the men, but in general, 3 times a year that everybody had to report to Jerusalem. Okay, no matter where you live, you had to flood into Jerusalem, and which we're not going to go to all that super deep history there. All right, you can kind of research that on your own time, but this is where Titus utilized that. All right, how he allowed us to come into the city, but wouldn't allow us to leave, and then the food, I almost said food banks, but you know, the food ran short. Okay, so he basically started us out. He trenched us around about, all right, and start to starve us out. Okay, so for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. All right. Now this was a prophecy that the Lord prophesied concerning the time period known as 70, okay, AD. All right, 70 AD, because you had the Flavian dynasty. You had Vespasian coming to power in 69. Okay, yeah, 69, and he reigned. No, I'm sorry. Uh, yeah, actually, yeah, I was right. Yeah, 69, because he reigned from 69 to 79. All right, so he reigned for 10 years. Okay, he sent his son Titus, all right, to because he was a man of war somewhat himself. But then when he came into power, all right, he actually sent his son, which also knew about war, because Domitian was the youngest son. I think he was a lot younger than Titus, so he wasn't really a man of war like Titus was, established man. So when he came into power, Vespasian, that is, he ran from 69 to 79. In 70, okay, because there was a whole uprising from 66 to 73. All right, but 70 is always that key point that you always hear is talked about. And that is where Titus was sent into Jerusalem to sack Jerusalem. Okay. And the reason why it sparked me, because this arc they trump. And I want to go, let me see if I can back up from this page. Yeah, here we go. So I wanted to type in this, all right, not side on, side by side of Arc de Trump and Arc of Titus. Titus. There we go. Let's see if we can get a side by side image. Perfect. Not what they give us one in Paris. I want the one that Donald Trump was talking about. But it may still work. Let me pull it up. Okay, actually, okay, no, they're doing the one in Paris and the Trump one. One in the Paris is on the left, what is supposed to be fashion after, within the one the Trump is talking about, the Arc de Trump. See, two eagles, then a winged golden figure symbolizing Lady Liberty and all that madness. Okay, I actually wanted to, well, there is the Arch of Titus right here. Okay, and if you're familiar with that history, okay, which we just kind of briefly skimmed and talked, okay, about it. You can't. It's not really doing any justice here. I don't know why it's what's going on there. And really, if you just do your own research there, all right, and get familiar with the Arch of Titus, you understand why it's important, all right, to our history. Not because the arch itself is important, but where it coincides with our history. But oh look, here's a perfect picture to show you if I can pull it up. See, this is part of what's on the Arch of the Titus, on the inside. Okay, things that they took from us, all right, when they sacked us. See, what is this right here? What is that? The golden candlestick. Okay, and other vessels, trumpets. All right, silver trumpets. Okay, I think I saw a colored thing. I pulled it up one time before. Where is it? I know I just saw one. Here it is. Check this out. See? So this is them pretty much boasting in sacking us and taking our things, from the temple. And the scriptures say that, I think that's Joel 3, because you have taken my goodly, pleasant things. Let me see if I can find that scripture real quick. That's a beautiful scripture right there. All right. But the main thing that stands out is the golden candlestick, man, or what you may know as the menorah. Okay. Looks like, I'm not sure if that's the table of showbread or, all right. But then you see the silver trumpets, long silver trumpets. Okay. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Joel 3. Oh, and another scripture, because we just read, Jerusalem shall be trodden underfoot the Gentiles to the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And there's a scripture in Ezekiel. All right. You actually might go into that. This is a good chapter. Ezekiel 35, 36. One of those chapters. You might go into, Lord willing, camp tomorrow, Lord willing. But where it says, the enemy has said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. Okay. The Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles to the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. All right, makes sense. So Joel 3, I want to find the particular scripture where it says, yep. Matter of fact, let's get 3. Joel 3:3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? But because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. See, these things that were stolen, all right, from us, from out, because the temple had treasury, okay, which in itself you had, things maybe they could find use for the altar, or whatever bronze they could find, but inside you had the table of shewbread, the menorah, the altar of incense. You had the ark of the covenant. Then you had storerooms with treasures, because the Lord would get his, all right, before anyone else, and then the Levites would get theirs. Excuse me, for everything that was given. Okay, that was the order of things. So when you go in there, it's a whole treasury. Those are the Lord's things. They may be kept in our possession by overlooking by of the Levites. All right, probably the high priest or whoever, maybe a collective, but the Levites. But those things belong to the Lord. So because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things, okay, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their borders. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. Same thing it says in Thessalonians. It is a righteous thing to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. Okay, so if it's coming together for you, Lord willing, you see why we're mentioning this, all right? Because that's very boastful for him to talk about an ark de trump, okay? And the last, major time we talk, we speak about an ark is the ark of Titus, and that was a major prophecy, the sacking of us, in 70 AD, okay? And so now you have this guy speaking about an ark de trump, which is supposed to be set up after the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, France. Okay, so I thought it was very interesting, and I looked into it, and the Spirit just led me there. All right, to connect those things. All right. See, 7 branches go to menorah, not 9 like these these small hats will do. Propeller hats, and that 1949 is the lie that's going off. Okay. Now there was something that he was trying to build too, because he came into power what 79. Titus, that is, he reigned to 81, I believe, so like 79 to 80. He was trying to build something, some kind of monument. And then you had I think it was called Mount Vesuvius or something like that, or something like that, a volcano that erupted. But let me see if I can find something. What was Titus? Uh, let's grab some of that. Known for building or constructing, whatever. Public Works Flavor Amphitheater, better known as the Colosseum. After 10 years, construction was completed during the reign of Titus and inaugurated with spectacular games that lasted for 100 days. See inaugural games of the Flavian Amphitheater. There was something that he was trying to build, or he was trying to set some memorial for somebody, maybe himself. I can't remember, man. But I guess that's one thing. The Flavian Amphitheater, better known as the Colosseum, which the spoils that they took from us is what funded that. Okay, the building of that Colosseum. Arch of Titus. It was constructed in 81 A.D. by Emperor Domitian shortly after the death of his older brother Titus, to commemorate Titus's official deification or consecration. Um, so maybe that was it. Maybe that was it. I'm just mixing up, because history is vast, so you don't remember so much. And even sometimes the things that you do remember can get kind of jumbled around. But that's pretty much the point, though. Let me go back to the arch of. Is it even up here? Arch of Titus. Arch de Trump. See, and you got news on it. You can go find, you see him holding this up and so on and so forth. All right. If I can pull it up real quick. People.com, just random one. So there you go. Arc de Trump, and you can see what he was talking about. The two eagles, and then the golden winged figure, symbolizing Lady Liberty. Not saying it's exactly Lady Liberty, so-called, Statue of Liberty, but just, what's going on. What is going on? Okay. What was I saying? Threw me off. So yeah, Donald Trump's Arc de Trump could cost $100 million, but we broke, baby, and be bigger than Lincoln Memorial reports. Okay. So yeah, Arch of Titus. I wanted a side by side of this thing and the Arch of Titus, but we'll just steal this picture right here. Well, not steal, but and we could use that for just a look. There's a good one right there. Okay, just a little quick, something that sparked my interest there as I saw it. Okay, as you can see, you can pull up article, probably even a news clip on it. Okay, and it's mentioning the same thing here, nicknamed the Arc de Trump because of its resemblance to the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. The proposed arch would commemorate the upcoming 250th anniversary of the United States. Okay, and it's okay. Let them pull it up because just like the Arch of Titus was commemorating their victory over us and the sacking of the Lord's temple and his goods, all right, let that thing come up because the Lord is going to sack this place, all right, and he's going to leave this whole entire country for a memorial, right? But I'm going to leave it at that. Lord will you will edify. Till next time, I'm going to say shalom.